Welcome to today's episode of the L Spot Show.
We are your hosts. I'm Michael Mills.
And I'm Angela Yvonne. Today we'll be taking on the subject of immigration, so it might get a little bit heated.
That's right. Immigration is a giant issue wrapped in a lot of baggage, and today we're going to do our best to tackle and unpack it with our own opinions. Just us.
And we can't forget we have Loco Ninja, who will be giving us all that's going on with him and clue us in on his newest collaborations.
That's right. As well as more law advice about venture capital financing from Sabine's Common Sense. A wonderful foray into the world of delightful and non-scary veganism with Angela, and later I will host a discussion about a brand new topic on Inside the Science Mind.
You know, Mike, I've been watching your IGs, and it seems like you are, becoming vegan.
No, not at all. Absolutely not.
Mike, how are you the nature guy, and you're still eating meat?
You know what? I have a perfect answer for that, about how we can all sustainably consume what it is that we would like. And I'd love to share my strategy with you on a future topic of Inside the Science Mind.
Well, welcome to the L Spot Show.
Yes.
Reclaiming my time, taking what's mine. Now watch me work. Light, camera, action. Now watch me work. Light, camera, action. Now watch me work. Light, camera.
Immigration. It's a very, very, very sensitive topic here in this country, and we wanted to host a discussion between the two of us, just so that we can get this off our chest with you guys. We want you to chime in and let us know what you think. Definitely reach out to us on social media, Instagram, Twitter, and help us navigate this. Angela.
Yes, so let's get this started, Michael, because I have a lot for you.
Fisticuffs.
Fisticuffs. So, as we know, we've been going back and forth. Well, America has been going back and forth with our President Trump wanting to build a wall.
Yes.
And he feels that, of course, the immigrants shouldn't be allowed to come over here and, just get things done, have a good life. They should stay over where they came from. Restricted.
Yes.
But I'm against it.
Okay.
I'm against it because I feel that at one time we were all immigrants. Even though it's not by choice, I feel that everyone should get a choice to have a good life.
So you think everyone should get a choice to have a good life?
Absolutely.
Here in the States?
Here in the States, I believe that you should have the opportunity to have a great life, because many of the people are leaving their country because their life isn't so great. There's poverty, there's hunger, there's, not great health care. There's all kinds of different things that affect how they're living, and that's why they're coming over here.
And you feel the same way about refugees, or just anyone trying to immigrate, period?
Or
do you feel this way primarily about refugees?
I feel this way about anyone who's trying to have a better life. So if I'm an immigrant and I'm trying to come over here to have a better life, and the generations after me have a better life, and this is my way of getting to it, I'm all for it.
And define what you think a better life is. So you're talking about financial liberty?
I'm talking financial, I'm talking education, I'm talking about health care. Because like I said before, if you look at some of the places that these people live, there's like 10, 15 people living in a shack, no running water, disease-filled, stunt in growth because they're not getting the right nourishment. And if they have the opportunity, any means necessary, they should be able to come over here. But I also feel that there should be a limited time that they should be over here if all they are doing is coming over here to, have a specific purpose, as in, to get money and bring over to their country. I think that there should be limitations if they're not trying to become a citizen.
Okay. I think as far as immigration, I totally agree with you when it comes to wanting to help other people that are in less productive situations back wherever their home country is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the United States has done a very good job of doing that
Yes.
in the past 100 or so,
years.
Maybe not quite 100 years, but like the past 70 years or so.
Yeah.
We definitely have reached out and sent aid to many different countries. It's not in true altruism. A lot of times it's to build a network or really build a bridge to another part of the world so that we
Absolutely.
can control something elsewhere. But when it comes to immigration now and border wall, I'm a little bit more kind of opposite of that. Like, I really think that we should have very firm immigration laws in our country, because I think that we have to protect the resources that we have here.
Okay. Well, with you saying that, then it could also backfire.
How so?
Because if you're not wanting immigrants to come over here to use our resources, then they might turn around and say the same thing, that we can't come over there and use their resources.
Yeah, so I'm looking at it as a problem or an issue on mass. So I'm
Okay.
looking at like hundreds of thousands of people, tens of thousands of people. Hundreds of thousands is a gross number, but tens of thousands of people immigrating into the United States illegally on an annual basis. I think that we can do more to not only help those people in their home countries and to not be a burden to them wherever they are, whether it be Mexico, the Philippines, Venezuela, Eastern Africa, the Ukraine, those different places that we've kind of had our fingers in recently, the Arab Spring nations. We can do more to either like pull back and
Right.
get out of their way, or stay there and continue to help them thrive. And we just need better leadership in doing that. But when it comes to someone just coming to the United States on a travel visa or on a whatever, and then staying here to work on a work visa, I don't think that's productive. I think that that takes away from the opportunities that other people have here. So the common issue that people have with that is you romanticize it. Like, it's not a nice thing to say that someone is coming to the United States to, to work and make a better way of life for themselves. But I think that there should be a better avenue for them to do it legally, so that there's no need for ICE or for, anything like that. There's no need for anyone to come here and feel like, oh, I got to come here and assume a fake identity so I can work.
But
and send money
how
back home.
else are they going to do it if they can't speak our language? They have to get over here to get our language in order to take the next step.
Yeah, that's our responsibility as a people to make it easier for people to do that. That's our responsibility as
So are you
Americans
saying
to-
only certain immigrants should be able to come over here? Like the ones who, I guess, will give back to our society and want to live here, they should be okay to stay over here?
I think the idea right now is that is who we only accept into the country, or people that actually, that's legally the grounds to becoming an American citizen is only for
You
people
denounce
that...
your country and you become American citizen.
Yeah,
Right.
unceremoniously, but yeah, you denounce your country and you want to be an American citizen because America is better, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
I think that's what happens now. But that's BS. Like, that's not necessary. Everyone, not everyone, but obviously, it's a great advantage to come to the United States and work here
Yes.
if your country's currency is valued less than the American dollar.
Yes.
And it's ubiquitous. It's everywhere in the world. There's only a few countries that affords you that opportunity right now. So if you were to come here and you want to just work whatever job it may be, and then send a third of the money that you make back home, do it. Like, let people come here and do that. Like, stop trying to stop them from doing that, because that's what they're doing anyways. Help them to do it in a more productive way so that it doesn't suck money and opportunities and media coverage and all this sort of
But
stuff.
what
and everything else.
opportunities are they taking? Are you going to wash dishes?
No, I'm not talking about like an opportunity for people that are here. Well, I guess I kind of am. No, I'm not. Well, I will wash dishes. Yes,
But I'm saying that.
But I don't want to wash
But the
dishes.
jobs that
No.
the immigrants are coming to take are the jobs that you and I, as an American citizen, I won't say that we're above it, because I've washed dishes, I can cook, I could do X, Y, and Z, wait tables, da 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 da. But as on a norm, would the jobs that you're saying that these immigrants are coming and taking and, using our resources, if all of a sudden you woke up in the morning and every single immigrant was gone that were taking those jobs, who is supposed to do that?
Sounds like a Thanos snap to me.
But
You've seen
who's
movies
supposed to do it?
Everybody's
Because
happy
we're so bougie and we're so above that, because a lot of us have become college educated, a lot of us have experienced certain things. So there are people here that the thought of working at McDonald's is beneath them.
Yeah, sure.
And that's earning a wage, you're paying your taxes.
Yeah.
In some places, you'll be able to take care of your family because minimum wage, $15 an hour, and things of that nature. But just say, for instance, that the immigrants who are coming over here to have a better job, a better life, take care of their families back home, who would be doing those jobs?
I don't know.
So they serve a purpose.
Yeah, of course they serve a purpose. I'm not
So
saying
they're
they
giving
don't serve a
back.
purpose. So I'm not saying that they aren't giving back. That's not what I'm saying. They are obviously like creating value
Absolutely.
by being here in the country.
Absolutely.
My issue, which I haven't said yet, but my issue is that So I, like most Americans, have a lot of friends that have been here that are immigrants. I have
Yes.
friends that fell into the Dreamers Act, friends whose parents have been sent back to their, the country that they came from, but they get to stay here. Families that have been torn apart.
Yes.
Friends that I work with that, I found out months later that they had a completely different name and a completely different identity, back where they're from and all that sort of stuff. And I just never understood why. I was ignorant, I didn't really get why it had to be that way for them. And I think that maybe the common sentiment is that they're trying to do something sneaky, and trying to like pull the wool over someone's eyes so they can be here. But it's not that. What they're trying to do is work to send money back home to make a better living for whoever's at home. And if that's what you want to come here to do, then we shouldn't be sold this, BS around America's a big melting pot and, people are here to like contribute to the country and they want to be here and, there's all this like happiness and all that sort of stuff. Like if you don't want to come here and do that, then don't. Why not just let them come here and just work? Why not change the status, so that you can get a work visa just based on working? And I think that, just a theory that I have, but I think
So they would have a limited time over here.
No, not even a limited time. I think that as long as you are here and you are gainfully employed in the United States, I think that maybe they could be taxed in equivalency to what their currency is worth back home. I think that would level the playing field, because when you think about someone coming here to the States just to work, they're not really wanting to be here to contribute to American society. They're having a tough time while they're here. They're not enjoying it. Let's not mince words.
But who says they're not enjoying it?
The people that I've spoken to don't really.
But I also know some of the people who work in our kitchens and things of that nature. They don't seem like they're not enjoying it. The only thing that makes it hard for them is that their families aren't here to be able to have the same kind of life that they're able to live.
Okay, so
it's not a situation where they're just like, oh my God, I'm here in the United States. This sucks. I'm unable to work. I'm homeless, or things of that nature. The ones that I've met and spoken with are all like, well, I'm here. I'm learning this language.
And you think it's unreasonable to allow people just to come to work and to just have them have a different tax rate so that they are here?
Yes.
And it is, why is that unreasonable?
I think it's unreasonable because they're coming over here and they're working using our dollars. They're paying taxes and they're contributing to society just like we are. Because when you think about us, when we get paid and we do certain things, we also invest in overseas with the designer labels and things of that nature. So in essence, we're all doing the same thing, but you feel differently because we are here.
That's a really good point. So let's say you go to, you make $300 here in the States. You go to Mexico and you're like, okay, I want to go buy this Gucci. Even better. Let's say that you want to get some plastic surgery done.
Yes.
All right?
DR.
Okay, so boom. So everyone's going to DR.
Yes, because it's cheaper.
Because it's cheaper. Why not get it done here in the States?
Because it's cheaper.
That doesn't make any sense. You should be investing that money into the United States.
But it's cheaper because if, say for instance, I want to get a BBL.
That's exactly the same
If I want to get the BBL.
What is a BBL?
Body butt lift. Whole body, like I get a butt, liposuction. I get the whole little package. Over here, I think it's almost like anywhere from $15,000 to $20,000.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of American dollars.
Why not invest that money into the American economy?
This is the danger. This is danger because some of us don't have great credit, so they can't finance it. And who is peeling back $20,000 when I can easily work a couple shifts, do whatever I need to do?
And how much is it in DR?
In DR, it's like anywhere from $5,000 to $6,000.
Then why don't you go to DR and make that money there and then spend it there?
Because I don't live there.
So then why not?
And I can't get over there.
All you do is take a flight.
I don't speak Spanish.
So what? They don't speak Spanish when that's not the point.
But we go over there because it's cheaper. But there's also hazards against that because you're not getting the same kind of, depending on what it is, you're not getting the same medical treatments afterwards that you would get over here because we're more experienced.
This is a conversation that we will have to table for now and maybe approach on a separate episode. But this has been a very wonderful experience. Angela.
Going to DR.
Yeah, apparently she's going to DR and everyone is coming over here to replace Angela. Thanks so much, and we will see you in a couple minutes.
I'm Angela Yvonne.
And I'm Michael Mills.
We are your hosts for Season 3 of The L Spot Show.
Watch us every Tuesday at 12:30 p.m. on Manhattan Neighborhood Network.
And on Saturdays on Brooklyn Free Speech. Check your local cable listings for the time.
In the meantime, visit thelspot.com to binge watch all of our previous episodes.
And follow us on The L Spot online on Instagram, Facebook, and join the conversation on Twitter. In the heart of East Village sits Ladybird, a chic vegan spot that is sure to cure your late night cravings, indulge in your thirst, and the perfect intimate date spot. Let's go. I have the pleasure to be here with Devontae, the marketing manager of Ladybird. Thank you so much, Devontae, for having us here.
Of course. Thank you so much for coming.
I'm so excited about this spot because this, thus far, has been the sexiest vegan spot that I have ever been to. So tell us about Ladybird and the history of it.
So Ladybird, honestly, was this opportunity for our owner to just design a place that was just fun, like almost a little jewelry box on the Lower East Side. And he's wanted to have a place that was simple without any of that pretense, that just happened to be vegan.
Okay. So what do we have in front of us? This all looks so delicious.
So this is our buffalo maitake buns, mushroom toast, and our beet avocado ceviche.
Okay.
The buffalo maitake buns with maitake mushrooms, house-made ranch dressing, and pickled celery and bao buns, which was like a kind of fun rice bun. And we also have our mushroom toast, which is with black garlic, pearl onion, and hanshimeji, which is a Japanese mushroom. And our avocado ceviche is with avocado, beets, as well as chili oil.
Okay. So walk us through an experience here at Ladybird.
So typically, the guests come in, they get one of these little menus,
Okay.
and they kind of check off what they're looking for, because it is a tapas bar. Everything kind of comes as small plates, and all of our cocktails are wine-based, so it actually allows you to come in, really enjoy yourself without having to rush through any of the experience.
Okay. So veganism is now one of the trendiest life changes. Why do you think that that's so?
I mean, honestly, it's for like a bunch of different reasons. Majority of people are vegan at least 30% of their week without even knowing it. Veganism is kind of like more of a response to needing to be healthier as a whole, and also just for sustainability reasons. And there's also humane reasons as well. So I feel like a lot of our guests might not be vegan all the time, but we kind of say more, we're looking for conscious eaters.
Yes, but it'll definitely persuade me because visually, it's just making my mouth water right now.
Yeah.
So if someone was to come to Ladybird, what would you say would be the highlight of coming here?
The highlight coming here is definitely our staff and the ambiance. We have some really, really great people, and because our menu is a bit different, and if you aren't traditionally vegan, there is some reservations, but everyone here can really walk you through the experience, and the music is pretty amazing.
So is everything here just made? Can you have alterations? Because, you know, even though you're vegan, some people have gluten allergies, some people have, you know, nut allergies and things of that nature.
Yeah, absolutely. So there are some limitations to how we can change things, because in order to, cooking with vegan ingredients, we have to dance around a lot of things that we have to actually use, but the majority of our menu actually is gluten-free.
Well, I cannot wait to dig into this. Thank you so much. And if anybody wants to come to Ladybird, where can we follow you on your social medias?
So our social media is Ladybird NYC.
Yes.
And you can also follow us on Facebook at Ladybird NY, or just follow us at ladybird.com.
Yes. Well, I'm about to dig in. So stay tuned to Vegan Pop. Thank you for joining us. And don't forget to come and walk on the green side, because you know it's much better over here. Okay, before we get into this, I gotta... Oh my God. What is in this, Devontae?
So it's our reunion ibis. So it's rosé, basil, passion fruit, and strawberry.
This is so refreshing. Is this just something that's seasonal, or?
So actually all of our cocktails are wine-based, so we switch them out seasonally, but this is one of our most popular ones, so we've had it for quite some time.
Oh my gosh, you have to try this. Wait, hold on.
So we also have large format cocktails. They're like punch bowls, perfect for groups. And some of our cocktails have wine, sake, or even beer.
Oh my goodness. This is the perfect spot for a date night. Now, what do we have right here? This is like old school.
So this is the end of the date. So
the end of the date.
So this is our chocolate fondue. We have a blondie, strawberries, apples, pears, bananas, and of course marshmallows. So this is for you.
Let me try.
Go straight for it.
And this is
all vegan.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Do y'all see this?
Are you ready though?
I don't know if I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna live here. This is it. This is it. Oh my God.
It's just chocolate ganache and just seasonal fruit.
Oh my God. If you are not convinced to become a vegan yet, I don't know what to tell you. Ladybird is the spot.
And we're there for you when you do decide.
Yes, they're there for you when you decide. Marshmallows, bananas. Hold on, let me get my little banana.
I'm taking my time.
Some more. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Ladybird, you won't be disappointed. You will not be disappointed.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Devontae.
Of course.
Oh my goodness. I'm doing piggy style right now.
The Indie NYC Show is a platform passionate about creating more exposure for independent artists in film and digital media. Today, we have some exclusive interviews for you from our coverage of the Black Web Fest. Check it out. Hey everybody, so we are so excited to be back at the Black Web Fest 2019. We were here last year and we are with Victoria Coker, who is the festival director.
Every year we have a theme. So this year was health and wellness, and we have panels related to that. So, it's going to switch up. Even next year, it's going to be better.
Okay, so you do a 2-day event. You have like an opening night party. Do you do panels and everything both days, or how does the structure kind of work?
Yeah, day one is free. So during the day it's free, and it's because Black people with resources is really tough, and I just want to make stuff accessible. So we have workshops because people need to learn, and education should be free, right?
Yeah.
So workshops. There was a panel with like a talk. I call it a talk forward because you don't watch the films yet, and it's kind of like a preview event. And then the opening night party you pay for, but it was sponsored by Crown Royal, so we had like an open bar, and it was really good, and people enjoyed it.
I just screened my film, Corey, short film. It's about a young dad whose wife battles drug addiction, and he fights to protect his daughter and stop the cycle from happening to her, pretty much, yeah.
Okay, where did you get that idea from?
Well, I'm kind of familiar with the crack epidemic, I kind of grew up a little bit in that stage, so I kind of saw how it would affect people that I knew, and I just wanted to tell a story from the perspective of like the family member and what they go through when their loved one is out in the streets and how they're holding down the home and what happens when that person tries to come back to the family.
So tell us what your film is about.
Yeah, so Theo's Trade is about a guy who was a news reporter in Chicago. He got really kind of disheartened by all of the dark news that he had to cover, all of the murders, all of the crimes every day. So he leaves the news business, he moves to South Carolina where he starts up a museum where he can hopefully educate kids and help them to feel a little bit more inspired about their communities.
Well, my web series is about a college-educated woman who finds out she's pregnant, which is hilarious. And so what she decides is that she's going to tell the father that she's pregnant. But what she doesn't know is that the father is coming over to break up with her. So now what is she going to do?
I'm Jamaican, but I'm coming from London. That's where I guess work and live. And yeah, I'm here because I'm the winner of the best web series.
Winner! OMG, so what is this web series and why is it so good?
It's called Dreaming Whilst Black, and it's about a Black British filmmaker who's trying to break into the industry.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's good because it's authentic, it's real. Okay. I feel like it's raw, and we talk about stuff that you think about but you don't really want to share with your white friends.
Like This Ninja Donut is a film about a man who helps a donut find its hole, and in that journey, he figures out what's missing in himself.
Wow, that sounds like an analogy. But listen, you told me that you won something. What did you win?
I won Best Short today.
Wow, let's give a round of applause. How does it feel?
It feels great. It feels. I feel like I made a really weird piece, so it feels good when it connects with people.
The film's about Nefa's character goes by the name Fred. He just won the lottery, and as soon as he wins the lottery, a man breaks into his crib, and they strike up a deal that goes into a direction that's very deceptive. So.
Isn't that amazing? For more coverage of the Black Web Fest, follow us on YouTube at the Indie NYC Show. See you next time.
Today we'll be discussing how you can become an investor with a small amount of funds and how a legendary rapper's venture capital company just racked up on $40 million with a simple investment. You don't need to be a celebrity or millionaire in order to invest. Technology has made it so that no matter what level you're on, whether you're a beginner or seasoned investor, there are plenty of opportunities for you to invest. You may have heard of the app called Acorns, which is just one of the many apps that exist to help investors, beginner investors in particular, earn some extra money. It's targeted more towards millennials. Basically, the app acts as a savings investment account. After you're linking your personal debt and your checking account, it automatically records your spending to the nearest dollar and it invests the difference. So, is it worth your time? Well, if you are thinking of testing the waters or don't have a lot of money to invest, this would be a good option for you. There is no minimum investment required, and it only costs you just $1 a month for investments under $1 million. The other plus is it's free for college students under 24. What happens to your money once Acorns collects it? It's invested in various funds called exchange traded funds, or ETFs, which is essentially a collection of stocks and bonds. Your money is spread among the stocks and the bonds based on risk, and you get to choose how risky you want to be. High risk has the potential for high return, but also high loss. Other apps that you may want to check out are Betterment and Robinhood. Both cater to investors on all levels and don't cost you anything to sign up. Betterment is great for those with low balances, retirees, handoffs, investors, and young investors. Their fees are also low, with a 0.25% annual fee for the automated service and a 0.40% annual fee for the advisor service. Robinhood is also a free app that allows you to trade stocks, ETFs, options, and cryptocurrency like Bitcoin. All of this is commission-free. These investments that cater to beginners are a great way for you to wet your feet in the long term of stock investing. Let's talk about venture capital financing. Venture capital financing is a company usually made up of a group of people with money that come together to invest in new businesses with the expectations of they're earning their money back plus more. The only risk with being a venture capital investor is that there are times when the companies may not see a return. You may not see a return on your investment. However, this is the #1 way to have your money work for you. And guess what? You can do it too. A perfect example of a venture capital investor is the lyrical genius Nas, who is a co-founder of a venture capital firm called Queensbridge Venture Partners. The company has invested in many tech companies such as Dropbox and Genius, and Uber's competitor, Lyft. Now here's why Nas's firm is important. The way Queensbridge Venture Partners works is that they invest money into startup companies that need funding in exchange for equity, basically a piece of the pie or part of ownership. There is always a chance that these companies will not progress very far, but if they do succeed,
they eventually can get bought out by major corporations, allowing them to have cash flow and more income for their investors. Now, QVP has had a great run so far. They've invested in the smart doorbell company called Ring when it first came about. The CEO of Ring, Jamie Siminoff, starred on Shark Tank back in 2013, but he was unable to get a deal. He didn't let that stop him. Amazon recently bought Ring for $1 billion, which means that Nas's company would come up on over $40 million. Now let that marinate. He invested in that company when no one wanted to give them a second thought. And now it will make him millions. Not to mention that this is just one of the companies that he has invested in. Ready to invest your coins yet? You and your friends and other entrepreneurs can come together and start venture capital companies and start investing in other businesses. Well, that's all for today. Don't forget to use your common sense, and if you don't have any, please feel free to use mine. I'm Sabine Franco, the Purpose Lawyer, and I'll see you next time.
Welcome back. We are here with Loco Ninja, activist, rapper, songwriter, and soon-to-be beauty icon, and I'm just so excited that he is here. Welcome to the L Spot.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Of course, anytime.
So I am a huge fan of yours, and I'm very happy to have you here today. Tell us a little bit about your music, your musicality, where you got started. I think that's where people, I guess, mostly know you from, is like your stuff, right?
Yes. So it's weird. It's funny because people are familiar with me doing television way back in the day before it was popular to become, a TV star or something. But music has always been my passion. I've been doing it since I was like about 12 years old. But
rapping.
Like rapping, writing, songwriting, literally recording on a digital camera and like formatting it on a computer into like MP3, burning it to CD, passing it around. So, yeah. What was the question? I'm sorry.
That's okay. Just where you got your start with music.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, that's where I started on my own. And I just grew a passion, like, even harder for it. And I just went full throttle with it and just started, like, finding my way around, going to, like, people's garages, recording in garages, studios, and making my music and mixtapes. That's how I started, so.
How many bodies of work do you have currently right now?
Wow. So, I have like about 5 or 6 mixtapes and probably like 2 or 3 full albums. But there's like probably 1 on like all streaming services. Because before it was like putting out music for free was my thing.
Gotcha.
Like I wanted to, people would say, grow your fan base, but I really wanted to connect with my people.
Yeah.
And just build like a foundation and just share my music with the world. And then finally I released my last project, Beach House, on all streaming services. And I got a lot of good feedback from it, so.
Yeah, it's amazing. Definitely my favorite album. It was 2017 or 2018?
2017 going into 2018, yeah.
Definitely one of the best albums.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Well, I got a chance to see your video, Hip Hop's Forgotten Son.
Oh, yes,
And
yes,
I saw that on your website. And
Thank
when
you.
I heard you rapping for the first time, you reminded me of the old school rappers Camp Lo.
Okay.
And
I get
they
that a
come
lot.
from the Bronx.
Of course.
And the way
Icon.
Oh, I'm so happy because when I first heard your flow, I was like, this reminds me of Lucchini. Like, this reminds me of it. And I just wonder what other influences you have, because Bronx is supposedly, well, I won't say supposedly, is
where it originated.
Where it originated. So
Facts.
what other influences that you have?
So I hear that all the time. I hear Slick Rick, LL Cool J, because I grew up on that music. I grew up with the old school literally in my ear. I'm a fan of like the new school, but like Slick Rick, Salt and Pepper was everything to me. And Salt and Pepper was everything. And Slick Rick, I was obsessed. And then also Africa Bambaataa.
Okay.
Yes.
Literally like my life. Like when people are like, who is it? What is it? It was Africa Bambaataa. Everything after that. But that was because it was so different. It was so different. It wasn't like what music is now today. So like people are always like, oh, what inspires you, or who inspires you, what artists inspire you? I'm like, a lot of the old school inspire me. So you do hear a lot of that flow of storytelling. That's my thing, storytelling.
Yeah.
I'ma always tell a story. It's not gonna be mumbo jumbo or and no shade
There
towards
we go.
no shade
No
towards
shade.
To mumble rap. I love
to
me
mumble
some
rap.
mumble
I know
rap.
I love mumble rap. I can't do it though. I can't do it. And even if I tried, I just can't. So I mean, shout out to them, to everybody that does that.
I want to feature.
But my thing is the old school hip hop. So you do hear that within me as an artist. So
That was the first one I heard. The first one I was just like, Camp Low, and I used to love them.
yep.
But yeah, that's amazing. Is there anybody that you would want to, now that you mumble rappers, who would you like to have on your, like?
Because you've already worked with a bunch of artists
Right.
as well.
I have,
So,
yeah.
I
So
mean, is there anyone that's next in your line of?
Absolutely.
When I saw Lumidee, I was just like, oh,
yeah.
uh-oh. Like,
Well, she is, I love Lumidee, and I feel like, and I'm gonna use this word, she's iconic for female rappers out of like Spanish Harlem. We never had that. So she is the queen of Spanish Harlem. I mean, we don't have any other girl that was really doing her thing and you know and such, and she's still doing her thing. But I don't know. There's so many people I want to work with that's in the mainstream media. I have a list actually. So I would say for like my first album, I always said this. I would want to have Amine, Chance the Rapper.
okay.
Who else? Obviously, Nicki Minaj. I love Nicki. I do. People say that. People always have like,
like
that,
her
oh,
over
you sound like
Cardi?
her. Yeah, I do. I really do. I love Cardi. I would love to work with Cardi, but I
Right.
just feel like with Nicki,
She's put in the work.
but I don't know. She's done so much in terms of giving hip hop a new face, or like in different ways, like clothing line. I mean, there's people that have done it. Queen Latifah has done it. Another, oh my gosh, I love her. But like fragrance, clothing, anything.
Yeah.
She was literally like the Hannah Montana of like female rap, because you know how these little girls are wearing like all these Disney backpacks and you see all these like, and
That
it's
came from
crazy when, you know.
Yeah.
It was like you see Nicki on everything, and I respect that. I love that. She literally had made it like something
A
just
new level
different.
Of, like commercial.
Yeah, like a new level
accessible
commercial.
and-
Exactly. And I honestly
She did.
say this
She definitely did.
all the time. She made every dude in hip hop step it up in terms of bars and also
Absolutely.
personality. Like
Absolutely.
guys, they have sometimes a lot of dudes in hip hop have no personality. And now you see all these guys rapping and they're like with the voices and like all this, and I'm like, wow, like, and that was her. I'm sorry,
No,
it was her.
definitely was her.
And Cardi,
Definitely
love
was
her. I mean, anybody that's open to working with someone like myself, because it's hard being who I am in this game. So.
So let's talk about that for a second.
Right.
So I think, I mean, just the presence of the LGBTQ community and members of that community, mainstream entertainment there's still a lot of room to grow, a lot for us to still do. How do you feel about your stamp on that timeline so far? Because being someone who's a fan of your art and your work and being part of the community and seeing just what really is out there, there's still not a huge presence.
Right.
How do you feel about that? How do you feel about what you've contributed thus far?
In terms of like hip hop.
Yes.
There's a lot of out artists that are like on the come up. There has been for a very long time. People before me. Shout out to Bryant, because every time I see interviews with like the out artists, they never like shout out the other out artists and stuff like that. It's how it is. It's like female rap.
Right.
So shout out to Bryant, because he was a out artist rapper that was kind of in the streets, like really doing his thing before I really like started to like go hard with my stuff, and finding myself as an artist. But it's still weird because you only see representation like myself on Love and Hip Hop. And that's not really who we are. We're not literally fighting, or it's not like that 24/7. But I feel like I've sort of made an impact for the Latinx community, the out community, the LGBT community. Yeah. Sorry, I'm a little lost. Y'all chop this up, right? Y'all can chop this up, right? But yeah, like, I mean, I've been on my grind, and I hope that I open doors for other people after me as well. So
I think
Right.
just by being present and putting out work and having work that's accessible and
Absolutely.
being authentic and, you know, in yourself and your body and
yeah,
all that sort of stuff.
I try every single day. I make sure that I do one thing that's gonna benefit me, as in with my dreams, and so I'm writing, recording, working with other artists. So hopefully I can, you know, change something in this game enough to make it more comfortable with representation. So bringing other artists.
But before we go, I just want to touch on your background. You've come from a lot of hardships, and now kids younger, starting off even as young as 9 years old, are starting to, you know, feel the effects of coming out to their parents. They're committing suicide, on the verge of, you know, harming themselves because they don't have an outlet. How are you motivated to get past all of that and become who you are?
Well, hearing those stories motivates me to be on the forefront, to be here, because we need representation. I didn't grow up looking at television, seeing someone that I could relate to. I mean, we did have people like RuPaul and stuff, but I mean,
we had one person.
We had like one person, and the thing is, like, my family wasn't. I come from a community that it's like unspoken of, and you're machismo, and you have to be a certain way. So I didn't have a mom saying, "Hey, I know this kind of relates to you. Let's put RuPaul on the television." It doesn't work that way. So hopefully with what I do, I can somewhat make a difference and make some change for the younger generation to come. And in terms of, not everybody wants to be an openly gay rapper, but you want to be comfortable in your skin. You want to be able to walk the streets. You want to be able to walk proud with an all orange color outfit, beat face, nude lip, however you want. So I want to bring that for my community, you know, and just like make it easier, because it's not. It's getting harder. I mean, it's getting easier, but it's getting harder.
So we're about to go, but we need to know where we can follow you on social media, because I'm already following you and he's already following you.
I am. Yes.
Everyone needs to get all of your goodness.
Love it.
Yes.
So you can definitely follow me on any social media platform under Loco Ninja. Twitter's I am Loco Ninja. Instagram, Loco Ninja. Facebook, Loco Ninja Online. YouTube, Loco Ninja. So anything Loco Ninja, just Google it. You'll find it.
And you're single.
Yes. Make sure you check out my new single. It's out now. It's called Baby, featuring Sheila Carlito. I'm in love with it. And it's hard for me to say that, because I'm like, I don't really listen to all my stuff over and over like myself. I just let people, you know, have it. But yes, and the new album, Highlight, June 25th. Check that out. All streaming services.
Yes. Get some of that highlight.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for coming and being on our show.
Thank you for
We're
having
definitely
me.
happy to have you. Any final words? Anything you want to leave us with? Anything?
Yes. Make sure that if you let me redo that. Yeah. Do y'all cut this up? No, right? Just
Sure. Cut up. There you go.
Thanks. Well, just a message to the younger generation: if you want to be yourself and you want to just live in your truth, don't let nobody make the decisions for you. Just do your thing. I'm not going to be like, oh, it gets better tomorrow, it gets better this, better that. Straight up, do you, be yourself, put on a highlight, and listen to Highlight.
All right, guys. Coming up next, we've got some more stuff for you on the L Spot Show. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right here. All right. Why are GMOs so upsetting to everyone? It's completely understandable that we want to eat natural, grown foods, but it's totally scary that a scientist somewhere decided what was good and bad about our carrots and changed them so that they have more vitamins and less fat. Sure, I get it. We don't want people messing with our food, but we've been enjoying genetically modified organisms for a long time as a society. The question here is not if we should do it, but rather what is too far. Okay, so maybe food is okay, but what about us ourselves? On a wider scale, scientists in China have experimented with creating human babies that have genes which make them resistant to HIV infection. While the tool to do this is a gene editing mechanism called CRISPR, it can potentially help us to stop diseases, deformities, and disabilities from ever showing up in future generations. We have to ask ourselves, what is the limit to modifying our children so they have better lives? And what happens if this technology, likely to be very expensive, is used by the wealthy to actually design babies that have whatever attributes or qualities that genes can give you? If you think that sounds far-fetched, just imagine telling someone 100 years ago that we would be able to grow massive cows that can produce more milk and meat than others, chickens that mature in a shorter span of time, and grapes that have no seeds. Let me know what you think in the comments below, or send me a message at Michael Mills or at the L Spot Online. Welcome to First Hand here at the L Spot. I am Michael Mills. This is Angela Yvonne, and we're here with Dr. Tion Brooks. Welcome to the show.
Hello, hello.
Yes, welcome,
Glad to finally
doctor.
have you. So tell us a little bit about what you do.
So nowadays, I am a data scientist working for Mozilla, and this means that I'm basically the in-house consultant for a lot of projects that go on where we try to use data to inform product decisions. And overall, we are looking for ways to make sure that we're protecting users' data and making sure we're good stewards by having very lean data policy practices, and also making sure users feel empowered for the products that they use and how their data is being used in it.
So can you break that down?
Yeah, there's a lot of parts right there.
He got it.
It was like
He got it. I didn't get it.
Let's start with data. So data, big bad data. Everyone is afraid of data. Data is a very, tricky term nowadays.
So, well, there's a lot of different cases where you can see data being used for bad. You can see what happened with the Cambridge Analytica, where there's the sharing of user data through Facebook, which may have affected the 2016 elections.
Right.
In ways that we will never know the massive impact, which is really bad in terms of like how users went to use a service and they weren't able to have trust in that provider, and that trust was just given away.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are anti-data, but we know that using data for good, there are ways that you can actually say improve healthcare, all the things that come from medicine and all the things that we do in our lives that really empower, like the food that we have that comes from the different farms. It all is powered by data.
Gotcha.
So what we're doing is we're trying to create new products focused on how to protect yourself on the internet. And this is like how to check for data breaches and how do you make sure that you change your passwords. Everyone should be using a password manager. Everyone should be using a password manager. That means that you should be changing your passwords very often so that you
turn this into a meme.
Because I just literally got I guess a notification where it was saying that your password is easily like known or something like that. But I don't think
they looked at your password. What is it?
I don't think it is. It's popping it on a handstand.
Popping it on a
I'm just joking. But it was, it was something that you wouldn't, it's not something that you speak in a normal language. So when they said that, I was just like, am I being punked? Or is, and same thing with Instagram, it's always popping up something like, oh, we need your number to find out if it's you and all this other business.
For a two-step verification.
Yeah, for two-step verification. So how safe is that?
Yeah, so two-step verification is very useful because what it does is that it makes sure that when you are logging to your account, say you were using one of the computers at like a university and you left your password there. If it was saved in the keychain on the computer, someone could hit log in and then they're on your Instagram, just doing all types of things. And then slide it into your your DM.
Popping.
Yeah, so
DMs are dry.
It would be dry after that. It'd be nice and
moist.
Side note, I have been wanting to do an ASMR video so bad, and I have an idea to do one with
I'll do one
words.
with you.
Moist.
It would get 1 million views.
lubricated.
We can't.
He's so trash.
Complete
So,
trash. Yeah, so
So-
the second step
Okay.
will say, okay, well, you logged in, but this looks suspicious. Let us, like, say, send a text message to your
Right.
phone.
Yeah.
And
Google does that.
Yeah, and that means you get like this 6 characters that you type into your computer, and that's how you prove like this is who you are.
Nice.
So that's a way to like safeguard like your data with that particular service provider.
right.
Okay, I have to cut in.
Okay,
I
yeah.
want to make sure that you get to talk about coding. You have done so much work with that in
Yes.
underprivileged communities. Please tell us if you're doing anything coming up soon, nudge, nudge.
Yeah, I have several different projects that I'm working on.
Okay.
So over the past, say, 6 years, I've been contributing to an open source software project called M&E Python. It's to do data analysis for MEG data and EEG data. That's like all this brain waves that come from your head. We're able to measure that brain activity and try to figure out what's going on. So we've been using this as a tool to teach students in classrooms how to analyze data so that they can be researchers and experimenters so that they can be in the driver's seat of their experiments. So I just kickstarted a nonprofit with two of two of my co-founders, and it's called CL, which stands for the Cognitive Innovations and Education Labs. So the 3 of us, Steve Azeka and Maya Doling, we are trying to empower students to be researchers in their own classrooms and see themselves in the roles where they can be scientists and engineers, and especially working with schools where they have the Title I distinction, which means that 50% or more of their students are on free or reduced lunch. And this is also, so this community is usually underserved in terms of the resources and the time that's like dedicated to like, say, the science education, and it also skews disproportionately Black and brown. So what we want to do is make the Wakanda Lab like a real thing. So we want to give the students the opportunity to like run their own experiments. Neuroscience isn't taught in classrooms right now, so they'll be given a first-class education that no other of their peers are receiving, and then they're the ones driving the experiment, and they actually get to see what it is like to do science in the real world.
Nice. Oh my gosh, that is spectacular.
Wow.
Fantastic.
The Wakanda Lab.
Yeah.
The Wakanda Lab.
Building shields and stuff in our little
Oh my
city.
God, I had an out-of-body experience.
Did you?
Just seeing all those.
Astral plane. We should probably edit that out. I'm so sorry. So, okay, tell us a little bit about your backstory as well, because a lot of people, I find your story to be quite inspirational, and I don't know if you get to talk about it a lot, but you should.
Yeah. So I'm the youngest of 5. I'm the first in my family to graduate from college, and I'm the first to get a PhD as well. My mom, she raised the 5 of us on her own. She left my father when she was pregnant with me, and this was at a time where, say, the drug epidemic, especially crack in the U.S., was really bad. So this was mid-'80s, and my mom realized that it was not a good situation for the kids to be in because my dad was a drug addict. Okay. So she took us and moved us to Charlotte. We were in the suburbs. I've always lived in the city, so she moved us there, and she basically had 2-3 jobs just to afford the apartment that we were staying in, and basically she was the sole provider for 5 kids, which is tough.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you went from there to UNC.
Yeah, so
Bridge the gap.
Yeah. So I'm a Tar Heel born, Tar Heel bred. When I die, I'm a Tar Heel dead.
I'm not saying anything. I don't have to say anything, but go ahead, continue your nice little story about Carolina.
Hater over there.
Yes.
Yeah. So
He'd be at the games if you gave him tickets.
Yeah.
I don't need tickets. I won't be there. I won't be at the, what is it called? The Wimbledon? What's the arena called?
Wimbledon.
Don't get me started with sports.
Go back.
Go ahead.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
Bachelor's in linguistics and psychology. Always been interested in the brain, and also like how we understand language, how do we speak, and all of this, which is pretty cool. And then I did my PhD in experimental psychology, focused on cognitive neuroscience. How does the brain process language? That was the thing that I was very focused on and very interested in, and I was really curious about how reading is processed in the brain. So that was my academic career. And then I really got involved during graduate school with science education. I would teach workshops both in New York City, and then I taught one in Thailand where we taught 40 undergraduate students how to build research equipment using low-cost electronics and open source hardware. So they were able to build eye trackers and EEGs, and we got to show them like, okay, these are the parts that go together to measure the body. So we're doing biosensing, and what we use in psychology is that we're trying to understand how do we think, and we have to use proxies in order to do so. So normally we look at behavior, but then we can also start to look at physiology as well. So this is where like cognitive neuroscience come in, where we start to measure the brain activity, and then we try to see like, okay, this is something that they're doing in response to, say, something we present on the screen. We can measure the brain activity and try to understand the behavior response and also the brain response, and try to understand this process of like, this process.
Gotcha. Well, thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, you've definitely been the highlight of this first shot. What's it called again? Yes.
First hand.
First hand.
Unbelievable. I feel like
It's
I'm
gonna be fantastic. You feel like you're so much smarter. I got dumber. No, I'm kidding. Tell everyone where they can find you, Tion, please.
You can find me on Twitter at Tion Brooks. That's TeonBrooks. You can also check me out on my website at tionbrooks.github.io, and I'll see you on the internet.
See you on the internet.
Well, I'll see you on the internet.
Yes. I was so excited that Loco Ninja was on the show today.
I was. That was awesome.
His spirit was so amazing.
Just lighten your whole day up, right?
Yes.
Nice come around from the immigration conversation.
Absolutely. Right? That was a little bit much, but, you know, we still love each other.
If you made it to the end and watching us right now on television, whether if it's on MNN or Brooklyn Free Speech, please text the L Spot Show to 555-888 so we know you're watching us. Unfortunately, these networks will not let us know how many viewers we have, but by you texting us, it will help us get an idea. Once again, text the L Spot Show, that's THALSPOTSHOW, to 555-888. Thank you.
And to stay updated with our guest, our host, and the show, make sure to follow the L Spot Show at the L Spot online and visit thelspot.com.
On our website, you can find past episodes and a place to donate so we can keep this going. Any contribution helps, whether it be big or small, it still makes a difference.
Be sure to keep tuning in to the L Spot Show so you too can network and be recognized.
Bye!
Rebellious Soul Music.
You gon' love this.
I can't believe where I'm at now. I dreamt about this for a while. I knew I'd be a superstar. Didn't think I was gonna make it far. Been through trials and tribulations. Almost lost faith, thought I wouldn't make it.